Well, Samsung is permanently stopping production of its Galaxy Note 7 smartphones. Samsung recalled 2.5 million fire-prone phones in September. It later insisted that all devices with a replaced battery were safe. However, users were still reporting that those updated phones were still catching fire. Joining me now to discuss the Samsung fallout is CNET senior editor Lexy Savvides. Lexy, what prompted the world's top smartphone maker to actually take such a drastic move?
Well, as you said, it is a very drastic move for a smartphone maker to cease all production and effectively kill off this flagship handset. So initially what happened after the phone was launched in around September, there were some incidences of phones catching fire, and then there was a large global scale recall that Samsung did, and also the US Consumer Product Safety Commission also weighed in and issued an official recall. And since then, the smartphone manufacturer has started to remanufacture the phones with a new battery supplier. However, since then, the new handsets that have gone out across the globe, there have been other incidences of the phones still catching fire. So Samsung has had to issue an entire global halt on all production and effectively kill off that Note 7 line altogether.
What a huge blow to the South Korean electronics giant. How do you think this could potentially shake up the already competitive smartphone market, especially as we go into the holiday sales?
This is a really interesting one because Samsung obviously has a lot of fingers everywhere in terms of all of the products that it makes, not only in terms of consumer products, but if you think about all of the other components that go into making smartphones for other manufacturers. We're talking screens, we're talking circuit boards, batteries, memory units, all these sorts of things. And obviously Samsung is going to be in a position where they don't have a flagship smartphone going into the holiday season. We've got competitors like Apple obviously having launched the iPhone 7 just recently. Google that's come out with their own flagship phones. They all have these big models ready for the holiday season. Now, the Note 7 is obviously Samsung's flagship phone. However, it's not their only phone. They still have other phones in the lineup, but it's not the one that obviously is the most desirable one. Samsung's smartphone division does not make up the significant profits that the company makes. So in terms of like overall revenue, it's probably not going to affect the company all that much. However, in terms of credibility, brand name association and things like that, it's going to be difficult for Samsung to win consumer confidence back after such a big recall, such as the Note 7 incident.
And so your options now for the Note 7, you can get a refund or you can exchange the Note 7 that you have for another Samsung product. But ultimately, you were talking about the cost of this. If you have a Note 7, what should you do?
Well, what you need to do if you do have a Note 7 is to power it off immediately. And then after that, you can have a couple of options of either taking it back to Samsung itself if you've bought it through Samsung, or take it back to your carrier, and you can either get a refund of the cost of the phone plus of all of the accessories, and then what you can also do is get a new handset from a different manufacturer. That's totally up to you, so you have a couple of different options. What you could do is you can swap it out for a Samsung existing handset such as the Galaxy S7 or S7 Edge. There are a couple of other high-end handsets on the market that you may consider. However, they're not going to be available until the end of October. So going a couple of weeks without a handset may not be desirable for a couple of people. Those handsets include things like LG's flagship V20. There's also the Google Pixel phones that I mentioned earlier, such as the Pixel and Pixel XL. Or of course, if you want to change ecosystems altogether, you could consider going to the iPhone 7 or 7 Plus if you wanted that larger screen size that's comparable to the Note 7.
Do you think Samsung has to rebrand completely, or do they have to come out with an entirely new phone now?
Well, what's going to happen most likely is we're going to see probably the end of the Note line. I would be surprised if Samsung can claw back from this in terms of the damage that's been done to the Note name. Samsung has said in numerous occasions previously that the Note owners, people that have bought into the Note ecosystem, are among the most loyal customers. So obviously an incident such as this is going to really damage that brand. However, there's not going to be any kind of rebranding of the Note 7. The Note 7 is dead effectively as of now. In terms of the other flagship handsets that Samsung has, such as the S7 and the forthcoming S8, which is most likely going to be released next year, that's going to be something that they're going to continue working on, and there will be a lot of R&D development obviously still undertaking towards that right now. So there won't be any rebranding of the Note 7. That's done and dusted. They'll be looking towards newer phones later on.
Okay, Lexy Savvides with CNET. Thank you, Lexy.
Thank you.